Training for and having my first fight was definitely one of the most interesting experiences of my life. Competing was something I always wanted to do for a very long time, but I just never found myself disciplined enough to really give it a go. That was until recently. Going through my training camp was one of the most transformative periods of my life I've ever had, more than the fight itself actually. People who don't train, or people who do train and don't really plan on fighting or haven't gotten to that level yet, don't really understand the impact that a fight camp can have on you. There's pressure and expectation on your performance. Every session you're expected to push 110%. If your coach tells you to do something, no is almost never an answer. If your coach tells you run, you go run. He tells you hit the bag, go hit the bag. 200 skip knees, you do it. It was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. The interesting part with fighting though is how much that this world of fighting kind of bleeds into everything you do. Not necessarily the skills itself, but the mindset. The way you think about problems changes, and the way that you carry yourself is a little bit different. You start to have an understanding of where your limits actually lie. There's something very, I guess, empowering, understanding how far you can really push yourself. The way my coach put it, after a while, your mind becomes the only limiting factor. You will get to the point you condition your body so much that the only thing stopping you from physically doing more reps of whatever you're asked to do is your mind, and your mind's putting brakes telling you to stop. I would say that's probably one of the most transformative things I've ever heard. The other thing my coach told me about that completely shifted my mindset is the idea of gameness. This is a trait that's found in fighting dogs a lot of the time, and it's basically the ability to keep persevering in a fight even when you're losing. Just like how dogs a lot of the times, they can literally be dying and will still keep going forward no matter what. This was something my coach told me about, and he said that I have to have a little bit of gameness before going into this fight, which I didn't really know what that meant beforehand, but in the moment, in the ring, that was something I thought about. And I can definitely say that that is a concept that I have applied to a lot of different elements of my life. You might be confused that I'm not talking too much about the actual fight, but it's because most of the transformation that happens is from the training itself. The best way I can put it is the fight is proof of everything you've done. The fight doesn't lie. When you two step into the ring to fight each other, that right there is just lying out all the effort you've put out. People say this and it's really cliche, but fighting is the easy part. The most difficult thing about fight night is the nerves, obviously. But honestly, for me, for this fight, that wasn't too big of an issue. I think part of that comes from the fact I talked a lot to my coach and we worked on things in the back before the fight, and that really helped. But overall, I was still pretty composed and I was able to execute on a lot of the things I wanted to do. Overall, though, I would say my fight was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Being able to push myself to this limit that I never knew I even had. And to have this level of confidence in my ability to protect myself and in my physicality is also really nice. Although this fight also exposes my weaknesses, which I am working on. Even if you don't want to fight, I think it's an amazing opportunity to get into martial arts. I'm serious, it will change your life. I know for a fact that it's certainly changed mine. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys.